A single season could redefine an entire franchise, sometimes for better, but
Kobe Bryant leaving the floor in a standing ovation here.
Often for worse.
Can't think of a worse day in history for the New York Knicks franchise.
When injuries pile up,
running the floor and a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee.
Locker rooms disputes boil over, and front office decisions backfire.
He stepped down hastily. He should have been fired.
The fallout can haunt them teams for years. Let's look through the absolute worst teams in recent NBA history and uncover the stories of how these teams even got in this position. The 2012 Bobcats hold the darkest record of the modern NBA. A 10.6 win rate that stands at the all-time worst. Coming out of the lockout, fans expected turbulence, but nobody predicted how truly dark it would get. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest players of all time, found himself an owner under fire. Locals whispered about his frustration with draft picks and the growing roster chaos. Many believe the Bobcats lacked leadership on and off the court. Rookies were playing major minutes, and veterans who might have stabilized the ship just weren't there. The result was a moral crisis. Critics said the team was fighting the scoreboard as much as they were battling their own self-doubt. I mean, the games were absolutely terrible. Though the Bobcats eventually rebranded and reshaped their future, that horrific season remains a cautionary tale for any team scrambling without a coherent plan. Philly's front office took a radically different approach to losing. Instead of stumbling blindly, they actually embraced it. Sam Hinkie's coined the phrase, "trust the process," to justify trading away proven talent for draft picks and future potential. Fans felt torn.
Typical Philly fashion, we get so close and then we lose.
Some were furious at the deliberate tumble, while others were all in on a vision that one day the Sixers would transform into contenders. Inside the locker room, rumors swirled that certain veterans hated losing night after night without a clear sense of how the process would pan out.
He stepped down hastily. He should have been fired.
Unsurprisingly, morale dipped to historic lows. The Sixers tied the NBA record with 28 consecutive losses at one point, and fielded rosters that could look entirely different from one week to the next. Though Philly eventually saw stars like Joel Embiid emerge, those tanking years was tough. They remain infamous as one of the boldest and most painful eras in league history. In the summer of 2010, LeBron James famously departed Cleveland, taking the Cavs championship dreams with him.
And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
What followed was a disastrous 2010 to 2011 campaign in which the team plunged into a historic 26-game losing streak. Fans felt betrayed by the decision, and owners' anger played out publicly.
I hope that LeBron doesn't win a championship in Miami, and I hope we come back stronger next year and we win the NBA championship.
Dan Gilbert's open letter slammed LeBron in ways some viewed as unprofessional, and it's intensified the buzz that surrounded around the franchise. Without their superstar, the Cavs found it nearly impossible to stay competitive. They endured blowouts and recurring injuries, often leaning on players who were previously role fillers at best. Whispers emerged that front office turmoil also contributed to the chaos, as coaches struggled to craft a stable rotation. Despite this fallout, Cleveland actually caught a break by drafting Kyrie Irving, yet memories of that post-LeBron meltdown lingered, proving how catastrophic it is to lose a generational star without a backup plan.
Patience has run out, and the worst nightmare of the fans of the New York Knicks has come true.
In the eyes of Knicks fans, 2019 was supposed to be the year when everything changed. Rumors hinted at Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving making their way to Madison Square Garden, and Kristaps Porzingis looking like a rising phenom. But reality hit hard. Durant and Irving went across the river to Brooklyn.
Thought they were supposed to get KD and Kyrie, the Knicks.
Sell the team! Anything I should sell the team?
You know what? Enjoy watching them on TV.
And Porzingis was traded despite swirling disputes about his role and future. With free agency hopes crushed, the Knicks brought out a mishmash roster. Injuries, chemistry issues, and coaching turnovers left fans hopeless. Again, the front office revolving door of decision makers only stirred more confusion. Local sports radios hinted at accusations from higher-ups, questionable scouting, and indefinite rebuilding. The result was another year near the bottom of the standings, fueling chants of sell the team outside the Garden. Few expected the mighty Warriors, fresh off 5 straight finals, to face a total collapse, but the 2019-2020 season showcased just how fragile even a dynasty could be. Klay Thompson suffered a long-term injury in the finals.
So running the floor and a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee. now writhing in pain.
Stephen Curry broke his hand early in the season, and Draymond Green found himself isolated as the last healthy core member. They plummeted to the league's worst record, a shocking turnaround for one of the most dominant teams in most recent NBA history. The downfall didn't stem from pure mismanagement. It was mostly a brutal storm of bad luck. I actually remember a time when people were putting a lot of stock on players like Eric Pascal, while other new arrivals to the team struggled to adapt to Steve Kerr's system. Some insiders wondered if KD's departure also weighed in on moral behind the scenes. The Warriors did rebound in later seasons as they were able to secure another championship, but 2020 stands as a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes shift in the NBA. This one's conflicting, because at some points there was some wonderful moments in this season, but then there were parts in the season that was definitely I want to forget personally as a Lakers fan.
Kobe, you did all you could for the game and being a champion forever. A walking legend, man. We appreciate you.
Kobe Bean, salute my brother.
When a legend like Kobe Bryant announces retirement, every game becomes a spectacle. For the Lakers, that meant the 2016 season was less about winning and more about letting an icon ride off in style. They ended up with 17 wins, yet the Staples Center remained packed to witness Kobe's final curtain call. Some younger players, including rookie D'Angelo Russell, seemed overshadowed by the endless tributes. As the farewell tour consumed national headlines, the on-court product was not something worth seeing. Consistent defensive lapses and lack of cohesion led to countless blowouts, resulting as the worst team in the Western Conference. However, thanks to Kobe's unforgettable 60-point send-off, fans chose celebration over anger. Many still argue it was worth every loss to witness that magical finale, highlighting how star power can overshadow even the worst record.
Kobe Bryant leaving the floor in a standing ovation here.
By 2024, the Pistons had already shuffled through multiple coaches and high draft picks in search of a fresh identity. Instead, they found themselves matching an NBA record for consecutive losses, 28 in a row.
I just feel bad for the city of Detroit, for the state of Michigan.
Critics targeted the front office for failing to assemble a functional roster, while a highly paid coach became the face of a franchise in disarray. Fans across social media questioned if Detroit was quietly tanking or simply managed that poorly. Behind the scenes, rumors surfaced of tension between younger players and seasoned vets. Some insiders suggested the rosters lacked a genuine leader to settle the locker room. Negative energy built up with every defeat, and soon the Pistons were playing purely to avoid further humiliation. Although they did manage a few late season wins, the damage was already done. A 14-win season, etched into history as one of the worst in recent memory. But by this year, in 2025, Detroit finally found stability. They definitely found a way to turn the page. A mix of key player development, smart roster moves, and a newfound defensive identity helped them shake off their losing reputation, proving that even the worst seasons can set the stage for a brighter future. In the same year, Washington found itself sinking toward the bottom of the standings. Despite Jordan Poole's scoring talent, that brother could score the ball.
I look for Jordan Poole to be top 5 in scoring this year.
But at the same time, on a night-to-night basis, you'll definitely find some lowlights. Meanwhile, Kyle Kuzma's bold fashion statement seemed to generate more buzz than the team's win count. Word spread that certain players were skeptical of the franchise's direction, especially after repeated trades and coaching shifts. Chemistry became a serious issue. Other teams quickly realized that they just couldn't defend at all, and when other teams came to play there, they knew they can go for season highs and it would be a blowout. By the time the season ended, Washington had a 15-67 record, ranking amongst the absolute worst in team history, leaving fans to wonder if the roster had any path forward beyond just another rebuild. Each catastrophic season arose from its own mix of costly injuries, front office shakeups, and misjudged gambles. Some squads tanked on purpose, others stumbled through incompetent management, or just extraordinary bad luck. With each collapse comes a chance to regroup, but the question remains, will the league's next worst team learn from these lessons or repeat them? Share your take on which franchise meltdown was the most unforgettable, or even if I forgot anything. And stay tuned for more deep dives into the NBA's biggest ups and downs.